Well, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We finally hit 80,000 subscribers here on the YouTube channel, and oh boy, what a milestone it is. I honestly wasn't sure if we would ever hit this after Paladins died last year. As you guys know, that's the game I used to play here on the channel, and yeah, when that happened, I had to switch my entire content creation style. I moved to Deadlock, and well, I really appreciate all the support that you guys have given me as I've transitioned into this new content environment. And yeah, I'm just so grateful for all of you who have subscribed to the channel. It really means a lot to me. And to celebrate, I decided that we should do something here on the channel that I haven't done in years, and I certainly haven't done since moving into the Deadlock community. And that is an AMA, an Ask Me Anything, a Q&A, not really sure what to call it, but regardless, you guys sent me a bunch of questions and I am going to answer them in this video. And if you have any questions that didn't make it into the video but you still want to ask me, leave them in the comments section down below and I'll try to answer as many as I can over the next couple of days. But anyways, let's get started with the first question here. What is the best part of content creation? And the main reason I wanted to get into content creation in the first place was just to help and entertain as many people as possible. Coming up with video ideas and recording has always come easy to me, and that's definitely the most fun part. There's also the whole video editing and making thumbnail business, which can be fun sometimes if I'm passionate about it, but usually that is the part of the process that I look forward to the least. I need to know, have you considered going bald? Oh my gosh. The amount of comments I get about my hair are simply ridiculous, and honestly, I have considered going bald just to get everyone to shut up, because it's actually so annoying. Like, it's just hair, dude. Why do so many people feel the need to comment about it? Are you going to cosplay anyone from Deadlock for Halloween? And if so, who? Well, I don't usually dress up for Halloween. I only ever cosplayed someone once, and that was when I dressed up as the engineer skin for Barrack a few years ago. And if I were to cosplay someone from Deadlock, it would have to be someone with a simple outfit like Lash, and even then it wouldn't be a full cosplay. Who are your biggest inspirations / who do you look up to in the Deadlock community, either from a content creator point of view or a player point of view? Well, my favorite creator in the Deadlock community right now is Gluten Snake, because his videos are incredibly fun and unique. They're something I can enjoy as a content creator because they're so different from the videos that I create. I don't usually watch regular gameplay videos these days because I already play so much Deadlock every day that I don't want to watch more gameplay in my spare time. How are you liking Deadlock? Have you felt burnt out at all yet? Do you ever get burnt out in general? Well, I am having a blast with the game, but I've also definitely felt points of burnout in the last year. In December, when my channel's view count was in the toilet, I felt really burnt out because it just felt like most of my videos weren't really worth making. And then when the major update came out this year, I kicked my channel into overdrive and put a lot of effort into making the best videos that I could, and it was really successful, but that also resulted in me feeling burned out because I was just overworking myself. So in the future, I just really need to learn how to pace myself to make content creation more stable in the future. If you were an insect, hypothetically of course, what insect would you be? Well, I don't know, I'd probably be a honeybee or something like that. Will you do any kind of collab with Metro? Well, I'm not totally opposed to it, but I'm just not sure what the nature of the collab would be. I mean, I suppose we could duo some games sometime on stream, but that's about it. I'm open to it, but we'll just have to see. How did you get such a gorgeous beard? Well, thank you. I don't really know. I think it's just good beard growing genetics, I guess? Thanks, Dad? What made you decide to switch to playing Deadlock, and what is your favorite aspect of the game so far? Well, I actually made a video not long after switching to Deadlock that explained why I love the game so far, and I've actually grown to enjoy the game even more since then, and it's hard to pinpoint one specific aspect of the game to be my favorite, but the moments where I hit an insane parry or a sick rollout are definitely what spike my dopamine up the most. How do you come up with video ideas? Well, that's something that I've been experimenting with over the past year or so, just to see what works and what doesn't work for my particular brand of content creation. When I was just starting to learn the game, I tried to get creative and I did a lot of videos about silly builds, and those did fairly well. Later on, I tried making some series that almost didn't fail, like the Spectating Initiate series or the A to Z challenge. But what did the best, though, were my discussion videos where I talked about various aspects of the game that are either really good or really problematic. And I've just learned to do more of those over time, and then the ideas for those come from whatever I feel the need to yap about at any given time. I try to do a lot of brainstorming sessions where I think about something new that I haven't done yet in Deadlock, or a topic I haven't discussed yet, and then sometimes I also get inspired to do something just via a totally unrelated YouTube video. And I also make it a point to study videos of mine that have failed so I can learn what I do better, and that's helped me to become a better YouTuber as a whole. Will you wear wigs? Maybe? Can you do a video killing people with a rock? Yeah, sure. Do you enjoy editing videos, or are you looking for an editor? Well, that really depends on the type of video that I'm making. There are some videos where I have fun adding in some cool edits that I feel inspired to do, but then there are a lot of videos where editing is just a chore that I have to get through to create the finished video that I have in mind. I'm fully aware as well that I'm not a great video editor, so perhaps I should find someone to edit the more refined scripted videos that I want to create. And that's something you guys can just let me know about in the comments section. Do you like the style of editing that I currently have, or should my videos be more thoroughly edited? I'm glad you found a new game even if you left Paladins. Just wanted to know, if Paladins gets sold or a sequel comes out, will you come back? Alright, listen, I'm happy as a Deadlock creator right now, and also, Paladins will never be sold, nor will they make a suitable sequel that will be just any good. Hi-Rez is a rotten company, and I would not hold out hope for Paladins to be treated any better than Realm Royale, Rogue Company, or any of their other games. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth. How did you get the name AndrewChicken? So, this is a story that's more than a decade old now, which is just crazy to think about for me. I needed a Minecraft username back in the day when I started playing Minecraft Pocket Edition on my crappy old Android tablet, and I watched a lot of Stampy Cat at the time, because, you know, I was a young freaking kid. I was like 13, 14, something like that. I figured that I could do something similar with my username, just, you know, slap a random animal after my actual name, and so I came up with AndrewChicken. And I don't remember why I chose the chicken specifically, although, I mean, it's probably just because it sounds better than Andrew Cow or Andrew Pig. And there is also a chance that it was a subliminal choice, because my parents also used to call me Drooster Rooster as a nickname, so you can definitely see the connection there. Now, eventually, I carried the name over to my YouTube channel because my first videos were also about Minecraft, and I shared those videos with my friends on the Minecraft server that I played on at the time. And the name has just stuck around ever since. Is there any character from Paladins that you would enjoy playing on Deadlock? Not changing the kit or anything, but just adding the mechanics like parrying, parkour, etc. Well, this should come as a shock to absolutely nobody. I, the Bomb King main, would love to see how Bomb King feels in Deadlock. Whoa! Yeah, it sounds like it would be ridiculously fun to do Poppy Bomb rollouts with the stamina system. Like, imagine the Poppy Bomb into a wall jump with a double jump, and then another Poppy Bomb, and then just boop, 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 boop. Just go all the way across the map. I mean, that would just be so much fun. I remember you talking about yourself being an IT major, willing to make a game by yourself. Do you think that at some point you'd be able to do both streaming and game creation at the same time, just as a side project? What kind of game would that be? So, for those of you who don't know, I was super into programming and game development in high school, and I was going to do it for college right when the COVID pandemic hit. I decided to postpone going to college that year, and during that time my YouTube channel took off, so I made the bold decision not to go to college and pursue YouTube full time. Now, I still do some programming projects occasionally just for fun. Back in the day, I made a build randomizer for Paladins, and I also made a racing game last year in Godot with some friends for a game jam. But honestly, I don't think I'd like to do game dev and streaming at the same time unless I have an idea for a game that's really, truly special. I don't actually have any game ideas right now. The closest thing I ever had to an original game was just a Sonic the Hedgehog knockoff that I worked on as a kid, and I recently ported it into Godot, but I don't really have any plans to turn it into a real game. But I mean, hey, this game is still pretty cool. I mean, it's totally a Sonic ripoff, and that's kind of why I stole Sonic sound effects, but like, yeah, I can go pretty fast, and I can like, meow, I can fly off the screen, which is something I really liked about old Sonic games, that you could go so fast you fall off the screen. I mean, so you can like bounce off of walls too, and like, it's a little thing. I'm actually kind of proud of this thing. I haven't touched this program in a hot minute, and oh my gosh, I'm moving too fast. Ah! Oh no, oh no! Oh god, I'll only give myself one life in this build, oh. Oh god, I'm bad. Anyways, who do you think is actually currently the face of Deadlock? Now, I don't really like this. I think that this is a really bad and unproductive term that's come up recently because there is no face of Deadlock. We have a large and thriving community, and there's no one creator that defines the Deadlock community. But, I mean, I guess if you had to make me choose someone who really embodies what it means to be a phenomenal Deadlock YouTuber, then I'd say Deathy is the closest person we have to the face of Deadlock. But, again, it's just not really a term that I think is healthy for the community. What is your favorite food or cuisine? You're gonna make me choose? No. Oh, I like too many foods, man. How do you want me to choose just one? Okay, well, at least if we're talking about broader cuisines, if you're gonna make me choose, then, well, I mean, you can't really go wrong with Mexican food. I love Mexican food, man. Like, I could gobble down a taco right now. What hero do you think is the most problematic and should get a rework/rebalance? What would you suggest they change? This is a tough question, because honestly, I think Valve has done a really good job of making every character reasonably well thought out within the context of Deadlock's gameplay. But something I've always had a problem with is that Sinclair is just able to steal any of the enemy's ults with a fraction of their cooldown. So, you know, I just play against Sinclair and he just casually uses my ult twice for every single ult I use, and that's just supposed to be fair and balanced and something that we accept in this game, and I just think that's ridiculous. He could honestly probably use a broader rework than that, but at the very least they need to address that stupid cooldown that his ult has. How much do you miss Paladins? Alright, listen. Maybe I'm just a bitter old man who's been betrayed by Hi-Rez too many times, but I just don't miss Paladins anymore. I dedicated years of my life to the game, and I witnessed Hi-Rez mismanage it and abuse it countless times. It'll always hold a special place in my heart, but I have no desire to play that game again, frankly. I'm tired of thinking about it, and I just want to move on. Do you smoke weed? No. Important question! If given the choice, which Deadlock character would you hang out with and why? Well, I mean, there are a bunch of characters that I would love to spend time with. Eternus and Wraith honestly just seem like really fun people to hang out with, but I'd also love to spend time with some of the wackier heroes in the game, like Viscus and Lash, just to see what sort of shenanigans they'd get up to. Deadlock just has a really phenomenal roster of rich, deep, and personable characters that I'd love to learn more about. Are you invested in the lore of Deadlock, and if so, who has your favorite backstory? Hey, we were just talking about this. Well, like I said, Deadlock's lore is just top-notch, and the characters are incredible, but if I had to choose one character specifically, I'd say Lash has one of my favorite backstories just because of how well executed it is. Because everyone else in the game has these elaborate multi-paragraph backstories, but then Jacob Lash just has one sentence, and that one sentence speaks absolute volumes because of that contrast, and then you get to learn about him from all of his interactions with the other characters, and that is just a blast. It is so fun. He's so unique. He's just a perfect example of peak character design. How did you come around to having such a good and strong mental in-game? Well, this is something that's taken me years to get better at, and I still struggle sometimes if I'm having a bad day or there's something specific that gets on my nerves. I used to rage pretty heavily at games years ago, and then when I watched myself back later, I just realized that I was acting in an embarrassing way. I just really didn't like seeing myself like that. I was ashamed of how I was acting, and so over time, I just tried to learn not to take things so seriously and control my anger. And instead of lashing out at other people, I learned to channel that anger at abilities and systems that were unfair. Eventually, however, I learned to focus and figure out how I can adapt to things that make me angry rather than just blindly rage at things that are irritating me. Rage doesn't help me win, but improvising and adapting does. It was a long and slow process of changing my mindset to accept that some things like matchmaking, toxic players, and annoying enemies are things that I can't control, but I can control how I respond to them. Instead of getting pissed off and yelling at the screen for things to change, I can change myself and adapt when things aren't going my way. I'm not perfect, and sometimes I succumb to feelings of gamer rage and frustration. As a matter of fact, I had a little bit of that on stream earlier today. But I've gotten much better at this over the years. It's something you have to want for yourself, and you have to make a conscious effort to change. Do you think you'll expand further than Deadlock at some point, like playing a horror game, adventure, etc., or making a second channel for that? Now, I've had thoughts of making a second channel before, but I am worried about not being able to consistently produce variety content because my actual gaming habits are fairly limited. I usually just stick to the same core of games that I'm super deep into, and then cycle those games in and out of my rotation based on what I feel like playing. For example, right now, I've been addicted to Path of Exile again over the past month or so, but I can feel that starting to wane now. It's been fun to play in my spare time, but it would result in that second channel just having nothing but Path of Exile content for a month, and I'm not so sure that would be a good idea. Plus, there's absolutely no way that the standard of content on my second channel would ever be as high as my main channel. Now, maybe if I become a gigantic streamer one day that can afford to play whatever I want every day on stream, I'll do more variety, but for now, my focus is on Deadlock. How many hours do you have in Deadlock and Paladins? In Deadlock, I have nearly 1,600 hours. In Paladins, however, I have almost 9,800, spread across 9 years of play. This person has a bunch of questions for me. Who do you think deserves a new visual model in Deadlock the most? Obviously, it's any of the heroes that have a Neon Prime model, so Grey Talon and Yamato. What's a hero archetype you'd like to see in Deadlock, or just some mechanic or ability you'd like to see a modern spin on? I've wanted a Necromancer character in a hero shooter for years, so I'm still riding high on the addition of Graves this year. Now, while it's not a particular ability or archetype per se, I do think that having a possessed suit of centuries-old armor would be a really cool character for this game to have. What's your favorite story-heavy game? Well, I don't really play too many story games, but I do know that when I finally played the Half-Life and Portal series a couple years ago, it changed my life. Those games are insane. If you haven't played them yet, just do it. What are you waiting for? Like, my only regret is not playing those two games sooner. Do you have a favorite animal? Not particularly, but I would like to get a cat at some point in my life. If content creation didn't work out, what would your dream job be? Well, like I said earlier, my original career choice was to become a game developer. Are you married? No. If you had to pick, would you rather be a blade of grass or a pebble? I mean, there's only one obvious choice. The pebble. Oh, would I like to get chopped up repeatedly just to die of drought in the summer heat? Or would I rather be just a stone? Yeah, come on, I'm choosing the pebble every time. Do you usually play alone when ranking up to Eternus? Yes, most of the games that I've played in Deadlock are solo queue. What are some things you like to do when you're not gaming and not doing content creation? Well, I love spending time with my best friend. She and I have been watching various shows recently, and we just finished watching the first season of Andor. She really liked it, which makes me happy, because I've already seen it, and it's one of the best shows I've seen this decade. Is Deadlock honestly a better game for you than Prime Paladins? Well, that's a really hard question to answer, because I mean, you can't really compare the two. They're distinctly different, and also, I'm at a different point in my life now than when Prime Paladins was a thing. So, I don't think I would have fully appreciated just how good Deadlock is if it came out in 2017. And In many ways, Deadlock honestly just feels like what Paladins could have been if it didn't get repeatedly beaten and pushed into different directions by the executives at Hi-Rez. The bigger the player base, the more toxic the game becomes. Do you agree? Well, kind of. So, a bigger player base will naturally have more toxic people in it, just because there are more people in general, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's more toxic. However, I do think there is also potential for more toxicity to emerge, because the devs have more people to please, and they just can't please everybody. But I do think it's also possible to have large player bases that aren't very toxic, at least when the game isn't competitive, but that is a lot harder to do for PvP games. Can you do a boxing match with Metro to settle the beef? I mean, the beef is already settled, so I don't know what the point of that would be. If Deadlock didn't exist and Paladins died, what games would you have pursued? This is a question that I asked myself numerous times over the years, and if Paladins had died a couple years earlier, I probably would have pivoted to Warframe, because I played a lot of that at the time and I could have made some pretty great guides for the game. But, well, that would not have worked if Paladins died when it did, because at that point I was retired from the game, still am, and yeah, I basically just did all there is to do in that game and then got really bored and burned out. And I know they've added some new things since then, but the core gameplay is still just shooting Grineer soldiers, and there's only so many thousand hours I can do that for before I get just really burned out. But if Deadlock didn't exist in 2025, I probably would have tried to move to either Marvel Rivals or Overwatch Stadium, but I know for a fact I would not have enjoyed that very much, and honestly, if that happened, my channel probably would have just died due to the lack of passion. If you could only play a one hero, who are you choosing? Well, it would have to be Viscous. I mean, I already main the guy, and also, well, he's got the most build diversity out of any character in the game. He's got a gun build, a punch build, a splatter build, a support cube build, and a goo ball build, and you can also do some weird hodgepodge hybrid stuff with all of that, so yeah, I can just get the most entertainment out of that character relative to anyone else in the game. And finally, a peculiar question. What are some of your favorite books/audiobooks? Well, I don't really read many books anymore, but when I was in school, I do remember enjoying the Artemis Fowl series. It just, I don't know, sparked my imagination, and it's probably the series of books I remember most vividly from that point in my life. And also, of course, Jamie, I enjoyed the audio collection of Norse myths you sent me. That was really cool. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video, so once again, thank you guys so much for 80,000 subscribers, and I guess the next milestone is 100k. Who knows if we'll hit that this year? I mean, I didn't expect to hit 80k here in March. Technically, it's April now, but I mean, it happened in March. It's weird. It's at the end of the month. Whatever. Anyways, hey, let's try to get to 100,000 this year. That would be cool. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and comment down below any more questions you have to ask me. I will try to comment and respond to as many of them as I can over this next weekend or so. I mean, eventually I gotta stop, but you know, I'll try to be here for the first few days. Okay, I promise I'm a good YouTuber, guys, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out.